really close together. Yeah, I see three people who are sitting together. Just social distancing, please. If need be, there's some, you can go further up, right? Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you to our honored guests. Thank you for making it, and I hope you enjoyed our tour of our new and beautiful campus. We're very excited to have you here, and I know that this conversation is going to be enlightening, entertaining, Fred, no pressure, so that you can make sure that everyone's engaged. We're very happy to have our three guests today to talk about youth leadership and the future of sports. So to kick us off, I'm going to introduce our founder and our president, Dr. Fred Swanica, who is going to be leading the conversation, and we'll be having a chance also for the audience to ask questions later on. So please give a warm welcome to Dr. Fred Swanica and our guests.
Hello. Yes. Yeah, all right, this is working. Masai, please take a seat. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us here today. It's a real pleasure to be here. This is my first time actually seeing this campus in person. I remember working with the architects for the last 2 years and in the design and seeing the images and the 3D, but it's really amazing to see it in real life. So, very inspired to be here today. And of course, exciting to meet so many of you from all across Africa. It gives me great pleasure to introduce two guests here. Masai Ujiri, as I'm sure many of you know, you've seen him online as one of our great Africans who's representing us in a very important field of sports on the global stage. So we'll be talking a bit about his journey and what we can learn about leadership from him. And then, of course, Acha Leke, who is my longtime brother, co-founder of the African Leadership Group. So he and I have been working together for almost the last 20 years in building the African Leadership Academy, the African Leadership University, African Leadership Network, everything African leadership. He's been, working with us to make all this happen. So you owe him this campus in many ways. So Masai, you are leading one of the top franchises in global sports, the Toronto Raptors. You're the president. You're the only black president of an NBA basketball team. Won the championships. You are really leading at the highest level in the entire world, in the field that you're in. Now, we'd love to hear though, we want to start just by going back, right? Not from where you are today, but just going back from where you started as a young man growing up in Zaria in northern Nigeria. Can you just talk us through a bit how you got from there to where you are today, and what are the 2 to 3 lessons that you've learned about what it takes to succeed in life?
Thank you. This is incredible, Fred and Acha and everybody. This is, I'm a proud African today. I'm so proud of this because you guys are gonna be bigger and better than anything you can even imagine if you put your heart to it. So I'm not sure. I want all of this like really recorded and pictures taken, because am I the first guest here? Maybe PK has been here, right?
No, he hasn't.
No? Am I the first guest here? This has to be like on record, right? Yeah.
Yes.
I swear, 20 years from now, I'm going to come and these guys will name this room after me or something.
The Masai Ujiri Pavilion.
Yeah, I'm going to put that pressure on. Wow, this makes me incredibly happy. And guess what? My story is your story. It's the same exact story. I grew up in northern Nigeria. I fell in love with the game at 13 years old that created a path for me that along the way, incredible people have helped me. I started playing basketball and really got engaged in the game just from walking to the soccer field and shooting, stopping on the basketball court and shooting with a football on a basketball court. And from staying 5 minutes, it became 10 minutes, and then it became 1 hour, and then the soccer ball became a basketball, and then we became the side kids that had to play at 4 o'clock before all the grown people came and played at 5 o'clock. And I fell in love with something that has created, for me, I think, somewhat a weight on my shoulder, because I want all of you to experience that through different paths, through different worlds. I had the opportunity to go to school in the States as an exchange student. I wasn't the greatest student. I wasn't the best basketball player. I went to junior college in Bismarck, North Dakota, and then I went to Montana State. I left to play professional basketball overseas, and I was hopping from country to country to country because I wasn't very good. Every time my agent would call, I'd call my agent. Most people, their agents call them. I called my agent. Hey, what's going on? Do we have anything? Is there any jobs available? I always got a job. I remember every time in September, the season starts in October. In September, I have no job. After like 6 years, I'm like, why am I even doing this? You know, I'm playing for minimal money. The one thing I did was know incredible people and build a network. The second thing I did was watch youth basketball a lot and paid attention to it. So I started developing an eye for talent. And then I got the junior national team coaching job to coach the junior national team of Nigeria. And this started to open and expand, you know, the way I thought. And we have to dream big, right? The NBA is what we all dream about in my world. Everybody wants to get to the NBA. And from then, I got an unpaid scouting job with the Orlando Magic. So I traveled all around the world looking for talent. And the expense, I slept on couches. I slept in $20 motels. I slept in friends' houses. And I was so fortunate that I met somebody that had a Delta pass that put me on as a companion. And meaning you can travel anywhere where Delta goes and you pay minimal taxes. And that's how I waited on every waiting list, on every standby, to get to every city to go scout. I always say, show more passion than ambition, right? Yeah, sometimes we get too ambitious. We're trying, I want to be this, I want to be that, and you forget the passion. If you show the passion, you get to where you want to go to. I'm telling you, even quicker. Just the passion of how you are. And this is what I tried to do. I had the passion for the game and the passion for talent. And you know what? By the grace of God, through good people, I always say you treat people the way you want to be treated. And I went from director of scout to director of scouting, to director of player personnel, to assistant GM. I went to Toronto as assistant GM. And then I got a big break and became the general manager of the Denver Nuggets. And spent 3 years there, and Toronto called me back to be president of the team, and came back, and here we are, trying.
One other question for you, Masai. You're big on developing this talent in Africa, and you're here for the BAL, right? Why is the BAL important to you? But maybe what is it, maybe for our friends here to understand, and why is it important for you and for the continent?
First of all, I really want to acknowledge these guys. and what they have even created for me. I came here, first thing when I saw him, it was, I want to visit this place. It's the first thing I told him. I've been to, how long? Maybe 7, 8 years that I've gone. I've gone to Madagascar, Marrakesh, Accra. I've been everywhere that I wouldn't have even been to because of these guys. Well, I'll tell you this. The NBA we started talking about the BAL, and not many people know this. They started talking about the BAL and said, how do we put an incredible proposal together that makes business sense, where the ecosystem of what we want to do around the continent is presented in an incredible way. We have to think big. And right away, one person came to our mind to talk to. And he's sitting right here. Right here. I'll never forget when we met in DC and we went to see President Obama, and we have this meeting, and he's presenting to President Obama. I'll never forget this. And we walk in, and while waiting in an office, I walk in with Mark Tatum, the Deputy Commissioner of the NBA, and this guy is putting everything together, and he's making sure that everything is tight. That's the BAL right here. That's setting up NBA Africa and all what we wanted to do, and the NBA hired him to put this whole investment proposal package together. And we sit down with the president, and we all know 44, and we love him, and he's great. 44 is smart, and he's very, very smart, and he recognizes people that are smart too. And he asked all the questions, and all the questions, and all the questions, and he answered all the questions, and it was incredible, incredible.
Thank you, thank you.
So, to his question, I think sports is more than playing the game of basketball, and that's why I wanted to come here to talk to you guys, because there's plenty that can be done with sports, right? There's so many things that are associated with sports. So you can be a sports journalist, you can be a sports lawyer, you can be a sports psychologist, the ecosystem is incredible. And you guys have to start thinking about that. So when we thought about BAL, it's the same thing His Excellency President Kagame thought about, is building that Kigali arena. And look at what it has brought. It brought people to play a competition and a league that's going to develop jobs, right? And then is going to create this ecosystem we talk about, where you are going to need a medical department, you are going to need journalists, you are going to need everything that has to develop around the arena. Yeah? We in Africa have to take sports so much more serious. It's not one of those ones anymore where our parents say, why are you going to play football? You better go and read your book. Huh? I remember my mom and dad my mom saying to me, this basketball. Is it this basketball that is going to feed you? Guess what? What's feeding all of us now? Huh? Everybody is eating right now from this basketball, right? Yeah, it's incredible. You don't know how much sports, we have to take it more serious, like we have to follow education. We really have to follow education, because sports is an education of its own. And you guys can find so many things. You find your niche, you find your love, you find your passion. You don't always have to play. I never played in the NBA. I wasn't even good enough to play in to play barely college basketball. Yeah? But I say it very humbly to you guys. Guess what? I freaking run the Toronto Raptors basketball team, and we won a freaking championship, right?
So what he's trying to say is that you should think about a role as leaders in sports. right? That just like, as we want to develop Africa, we really need to think about what our competitive advantages are. What are the things that we uniquely have that no one else has? And one of the things we have is great talent. And this is the youngest continent in the world. The average African is 19. The average German or Japanese is 48. So we have the youth, we have the energy, and sports is a huge industry globally. So we have no excuse to not compete and win at the highest levels. But that means many of you have to become the next Masai Ujiris, right? To run our own basketball teams in Africa, our own football teams, our own, all the different, all the different athletics that we have, right? 100 meters, et cetera, right? We have amazing talent, but we got to know how to manage it. There's law, there's, the entertainment side of it, there's social media careers. There's so much to be built around this industry.
Fred, I'll say one thing. You see, I'm sure we see so many Manchester United, Arsenal fans, they're all sitting here. I know, I can see your faces. Yeah, I know, Lakers, New York, there are all kinds of sports fans, but think about this. Why can't we have that in Africa? Yeah, you think Manchester United and Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, and Barcelona and Real Madrid have more supporters in Africa than they have where they are. Yeah, and guess what? How many African players do you see playing for these teams? So many, right? The game just grew and went to an incredible place. Yeah? If we have the teams, the infrastructure, the organization, it mixes with what he said, entertainment and all of this, all of a sudden we build that here. And maybe you don't have to go somewhere else to make the millions you want to make, to play in front of your family. The key, we have the raw talent. Africa's talent is its people. It's simple. Africa's talent is its people. It doesn't go further than that. Physical, smart, anything you want to think of. Number one in the world. I guarantee you we are. Yeah, and we will find out. I hope I'm alive. It's going to come into play, and it's going to affect everywhere in the world, guarantee you.
Now, Masai, you've achieved so much, yet you're also one of the most humble people that I know. Tell us two questions. How do you stay so humble, and why do you believe that humility is an important trait of good leadership?
I think we always have to be ourselves, and sometimes in Africa it's hurt us, right? Especially with leadership. That's why you have to be great leaders. We get to certain positions and then all of a sudden we think we can't do any wrong. Yeah, I come from humble parents. I come from an incredible home where I was taught the right way. I have incredible friends. Yeah, you have to support and surround yourself with the right people. You have to. Yeah, every time I left home, up till today, I went to Nigeria before I came here. My 78-year-old dad always sits me down and he always tells me every time before I leave, the night before my flight, always be honest. Yeah, always treat people like you want to treat yourself. And he always tells me to remember my mother. Yeah? Mother is a woman. Treat women with respect. Yeah, you treat women like your mother. Yeah. It's so important for us. It's so important for us. Yeah, because we get carried away. Yeah, we all have egos. Everybody has one, even if it's a little bit or small. Or I'm telling you, Fred, we all have to stay grounded. Be proud of what we do, right? My family make me. My 3 kids make me. My friends make me. My wife makes me. My mom and my dad make me. It's important for us to know this, even as you climb. Yeah, because every day I drive back from work. I pinch myself because I ask, why did God choose me? Why? You know the answer I always come up with? God chose all of us. And we have to find it. We have to.
Wow. Thank you, Masai. I'm sure we're going to open up, so there are a lot of questions from the students here. Maybe one more. You set up Giants of Africa, the foundation. So tell us a bit more about the foundation and why it was important for you to set that up and what it's doing for the continent.
Thanks. Yeah, well, through sports, I think I had an opportunity, right? And when I became a scout, for me, it became important for me to go and find talent on the continent. So to be honest, I'll be very honest, when I started Giants of Africa, I wanted to find the next Mutombo. I wanted to find the next Akim. And we organized all these camps. There were 100 or 50 kids. We brought them uniforms and shoes. And you play, you invite coaches from America. It became very important for me to find that talent. And then I started thinking as we went, a couple years passed, and there's only going to be one or two that make the NBA. And I started to question what happens to all the other kids? What did they do? And we started helping a lot of kids to come to school in the States, but also you put them in schools on the continent. You put them in schools in Africa. For me, it was important also to start teaching life skills, right? Yeah, so when you stand up, I need to be able to say, and talk to people, I need to be able to say, my name is Masai Ujiri, and I'm from Nigeria, and I'm damn proud of it, right? And you can look somebody in the eye and say it. Many kids can't do it. Yeah, many people can't do it. But we need to be proud of who we are. We need to be honest. Yeah, we need to respect women. We need to be on time. We need to respect women. We need to be on time. We need to respect women. Yeah? And after that, it dawned to me that a lot of these kids are not going to end up being professional basketball players. So what happens to them? Now we have to teach them what we just talked about, all the other things in sports. Fred said, there's the entertainment part, you can be a lawyer, medical, we've talked about that. It's so, so important. The last thing I'd say is, when we did these camps, I started for how many years, did it for just boys. And then I'd come and tell them, respect women, respect women. Meanwhile, there's no women here. And that means I was just being a scout, and I was thinking about the NBA. And my mind started to broaden up a little bit. You have to learn. These guys, I spent the evening yesterday talking to him, talk all the time. You have to keep learning. We don't know everything. And for me, it occurred that I'm teaching these boys and telling them to respect women. I need to put women in these camps. Okay? So we developed the women's camp too. We give the women the same shoes. They play on the same court. They have the same time as the guys. And to me, that's equality. Yeah, right? Yeah, and you hop from country to country. And now when you teach, you give them a platform to stand up and be themselves, right? And now you start to see them have a little bit of swag and believe in themselves. And that's important. Confidence, camaraderie, you know, when people give you that confidence, it's so important. And that's how we continue to grow. And then we started to go into communities, yeah? Communities that don't have as much. So I've been to Dadaab or Kankuma, or been to all the slums in Kenya, or you travel around all these places in Soweto and give kids opportunity that maybe they really haven't had. Lastly, we want to be peacemakers in some kind of way. And then when I look at places like the girls that were kidnapped in Maiduguri, I grew up in northern Nigeria in that area. I grew up with those Muslims. Yeah? I grew up there. I'm not scared of them. I'm going to go, that's home for me. And I went home, and I've gone home, and I go there all the time. Or we think of Somalia, and what happened 40 years ago, how many years ago in Somalia with Black Hawk Down, and now everybody puts them in a certain place. Yeah, what does that have to do with a 6-month-old girl or a 2-year-old boy, right? He's growing up in Somalia. Why does he have to live on what all of this has happened from the past? It's not possible. You youth have to change that. You have to change Africa, right? You have to. And that's what inspired me with Giants of Africa, is to inspire youth through sports. You guys are going to inspire all different kinds of people through all what you learn and all what you're going to be. Yeah? So for me, Giants of Africa, people ask me, what's the end game of Giants of Africa? I don't want anything to maybe even be put as like a symbol. For me, those kids that have come to camp, they are going to end up, what I told you guys from before, bigger and better than all of us. One day those kids are going to be presidents, they're going to be directors, they're going to be presidents of basketball teams, countries, and they will see their experience how they need to change and help others. And that's how our continent is going to grow. That's Giants of Africa for me, through basketball that God gave me.
Thank you, Masai. Really, really inspiring to see how you can see he's really someone who believes in the youth of Africa, and that's why, we thought it would be important for him to come and have a conversation with you today. So talking about that, let's open up to our audience. If anyone has questions for Masai, we'd love to give you a chance to ask those questions. So when you do, please tell us your name, where you're from, and then, ask the question. Yes, go ahead. Your name and then the country where you're from, and then you can ask the questions.
Okay. My name is Deo Gratia Samani, but I keep it Deo, simple. I'm from Rwanda, and I'm about to graduate. I'm a computer scientist, and a bit of background. I'm a basketball coach. It was such a very interesting road, because it's not very something familiar for people to be in tech and, go for schools such as schools that you guys created, great schools. Thank you so much, Fred. And then also being able to blend in sports. It was a rough journey. One of my teammates can confirm, given the back and forth I've been having with the coaches. But yeah, so my question is, first of all, it's to all of you. So how do you guys get to build a team, the core, the foundation, right? And then keep it and then grow together, because so the employees, right? They're like a team, right? They come in, they go, they come in, they go, they sell into your dreams, but then after a while they go, just like a basketball team. They'll come, they play in the team, they share your goals for a year. After the season, they leave. But then you still have that founding class, I don't know if I can say, that's going to be with you and then help you, achieve your goals. So that's the first question. And then the second one is around decisions. And this goes to Masai in particular. Feel free to all attend it. And I'm sorry I'm asking questions, because I feel like we've been asking you many questions. So the one around questions, it's congratulations once again to the 2019 championship. But before that championship, you had to make a rough decision, which was trading a player who was one of your best players, your best friend, if I can say. And then you have to go through a whole year without talking to him. How did it feel to live with a person, you don't get to talk to him, you guys share the same goal, and then you get him to achieve your goals. Then you still share the same goal, yeah? How was it? And then you're also in a rough position, like the NBA. Some say it's business, because You bring in a player, after a while you trade him. He was good. He maybe had a dream of playing for Toronto Raptors since he was a child and everything. But then you just tell them like, hey, we need this guy. I think he's better. So do you base your decision also around data? And if you base your decisions around data, how do you actually get to know who's going to like best help you? And
All right, I think let's let Masai answer the question now. Thank you.
okay, from my point.
I think, yeah, let's you know, wait. Thanks, I think we got the point. Let's please answer the question.
I wish I was that smart because I forgot the first question. No.
Now the first question
Then
was,
does team
how do you build
activity-
teams?
yeah,
How do you
so
build teams?
To me, building the team, the way I look at it first is, in our environment, is you have to hire smart people. Yeah, you have to figure out smart people around you. You have to be able to delegate. It's so important. And then what you preach to the people that you work with, you have to do it. You have to also do it. Yeah, you can't tell everybody to come on time and then you don't come on time, or you can't tell everybody not to do this here and you don't do it there. I keep it like really simple. For me, you hire incredible people, everybody I know that works for me, I swear to you, and I don't say it like jokingly, are smarter than me. I know it. I really know it. And it comes back to your second question, which is decision making. When you have those people that are smarter than you and you've put everything together, I'm not one of those that goes into the room and says, I made the decision and I did this. We go through it. We go through it again. We go through it again. I have 3 unbelievable women here that work for me, Sarah Chan, and Stephanie, and Sharon Alela. And they know this process. They are part of the process. And you make everybody feel like part of the process. Yeah, when I have to go out and take the heat. After they tell me about crazy things that I have to go do, like trade DeMar DeRozan, to me, these are decisions as leaders. I remember when I made that trade, and I remember when I fired the coach. You know, like, I will never forget, First Lady Kagame was visiting my wife and my family in Toronto, and I had walked back from the office, and she was in the house, and I walked into the house, and you could tell I had like an incredible day, and she said something to me, and I had just done it was just the firing of Coach Casey, and she said something to me. She said, "You're a leader. You take it. You've made a decision. You move. You're a leader." She kept saying it. And it really like dawned on me, you know, like that this is a responsibility you have to have, right? You have to have it. And when you made the trade, everybody criticized, and I'd be walking through the airport and I'd almost be like this. Yeah, because people, why did you trade him? Why did you blah, 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 blah. And it goes on and on and on and on. Honestly, I don't live that way. You make the decision and you move. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. We as leaders, you have to make a high percentage of those good decisions. And while you're doing it, you have to do it with really smart people around you, and you have to believe.
I mean, maybe one thing I would add, Masai, to your first answer around building a team, and I'm very much with you, right? You know, just make sure you hire amazing people.
Close to your mouth.
But to hire them, I think you need to excite them about the journey, right? So you need to be clear yourself on where you want to go, right? So that's back to using the time when you're here to think about, you know, your purpose in life, your passions, what do you want to do, what's this exciting journey you want to take them on, right? and then you can then find the right people to go with you on this journey. But it's very also important to be very clear on where you want to go and what are you going to do to excite them to come with you on that journey.
Okay.
So, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon. I'm Jeremiah Madol. I'm from South Sudan.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm happy to see Sarah Shan here today. Yeah. Okay, my question is about taking African sport forward. Last time when I heard about NBA Africa, I was so happy. And I knew this is an incredible opportunity for African youth. I grew up in Kenya, and I did my high school there, and I never paid the school fees. It is basketball that paid my school fees.
Amen.
So what I want to talk about is how you are going to reach the people who deserve the opportunity to play in NBA Africa. We know there are a lot of people outside there, people who have talent, but they don't have opportunity to go forward. And I believe that the only way that you can be able to find these people is like opening many academies across all African countries. But even though you open these academies, I believe that you cannot open 10 academies in Rwanda. It might be just only one. And that's one, it will be very hard for you to find children in the interior or the rural area of Rwanda. Like where I come from, I'm the smallest man. In the school I used to play, I used to play 2-man. There are some big guy there that I can never step down there. So how do you ensure that these people who do not have an access either to the city, they do not have internet, to hear that there's an academic, a basketball academy that has been opened in Kigali. So how would you ensure that you get these children from the interior part of the country to bring them into your academic?
It's a great question. Go ahead.
Yeah, my last question is about, at the college level, I also have a concern about the college basketball. So do you think it is possible to launch a championship in Africa that almost all colleges in Africa will be able to participate in? Do you think it is possible?
You are so smart. Now, incredible questions. It's funny, I just had breakfast this morning with the CEO of MBA Africa, and the first thing that came up, this is how smart he is there's only one academy on the continent of Africa for basketball by the NBA, and it's in Dakar. And the first thing we've all been pushing, and we said, is you have to build everywhere. We have to have more than one. You think of South Sudan, you think of Congo, you think of Nigeria, you think of Cameroon, you think of Rwanda, where the size of the kids are incredible, right? Yeah, that's the first part. The NBA is gonna get there. Takes time, but they're gonna get there. I guarantee you, we will talk about when there's 5 academies and we want 10 because it will work out. So that's coming. It takes time, but it's coming. I guarantee you it's on the works. The second thing you talked about is a collegiate league. Yeah, that's what makes America almost. Yeah, you go to any city and everybody in that community follows the University of Montana Billings or the University of Kentucky. Oh, I guarantee all the universities that everybody went to, if you went to school there in the States, you had some kind of affiliation with sports, right? Yeah, but we have to build infrastructure. And one of the things that has become apparent to me, even with Giants of Africa, is we can come and do camps every year, and we can build programs as we go. Now we have to build infrastructure. And that's one of the things we're going to take serious, is putting courts in schools, yeah, and talking to governments about having these basketball courts all over the continent in different schools, because that's what's going to create grassroots, yeah, and where kids could play. For football, it's easy. We can just go out there now, and all of us will have an incredible game of football now. We just put 2 shoes on both sides, and that's the goalpost, right? Yeah, and we'll find the ball. Yeah, and that's why the talent in Africa, once people became smart, the talent in Africa became abundant. All before, it was just Nigeria or Cameroon or Ghana that were the champions of Africa, right? They won everything in football. Now, every small country, everybody is good in football because everybody now knows the talent starts from right here because you can just go out and play. We have the physical talent in basketball, but we don't have the infrastructure. Yeah, that's why you see a lot of us start playing basketball at the ages of 14, 15, right? And that's why we even had the age problem in Africa. Because by the time you play and play and play, you have reached 19, and then you reverse your age to go play in college, right? That's what if we started playing at a young age, the game becomes natural for us. Yeah? The collegiate game is going to be something in Africa, and I'm telling you, it's going to come soon. Because the following of a university is like no other. You believe in your colleagues, you believe in your fellow students, and you support them, right? And the last thing is, it's supported by education. Yeah? There's a good base to it, where even now, we can even be more educated in many other things in sports. So 2 great questions. Thank you.
Sorry, I'd like the next 2 questions to come from women. So, if we can have, I think, yeah, let's give the young women a chance to ask a question, please.
We'll come back to you.
We'll come back to you.
Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Modi Aunlika Emanuela from Nigeria. So, I want to say thank you so much. I never knew I could even stand in front of Fred Shanika, President Masai Ujiri, and the co-founder, because Africa, for example, my community, I have a question for Masai. I don't know what gave you that trust? You said something like, they refer to football, like we prefer football. When it comes to football, everybody has this, this vision for football and other sports. And then you have the trust to move on with this basketball thing, and you were moving from pillar to post. And when you got there, the higher you climb, the more famous you become. So how did you manage how did you manage famous and consistency? Like you never relented, you never said, okay, because I have gotten to the height, I have made money, the fame, because there is something about us in Nigeria that has killed sport. Mm-hmm. When they're saying, okay, we are going to play whatever, is the African game, that is when the leaders will remember that we are going to, the budget and all those things, because they want to make some money out of it. And after the game, you see, we discover Nigerians, we don't do well in the game, and the whole thing dies off after that year, till another decade when they want to play the game. So how have you managed the fame and consistency? I really want to know. Thank you.
Thank you. Great question. Honestly, the simple answer is there's honestly no fame, and there's no, I don't know, when I say that, I don't consider myself really famous, or I'm just not in that space, I'm not like a soccer player. First of all, I'm humble enough to know that they are stars and they are famous people. That's not what honestly motivates me, the youth really motivate me. Now, when you start talking about politics and the politics of sports now, okay, yeah, I'll be famous there to talk about it, okay? Because there's plenty to be said. Yeah, first of all, especially in Nigeria and a lot of places around the continent, we put the wrong people in the jobs. Yeah, and I've told a lot of these presidents, respectfully, if you are going to put a minister of sports, put somebody that's an expert. Yeah, we need to put somebody that's an expert. We can't continue to do this to ourselves. You take the Minister of Agriculture, and because you want to give that person a position, all of a sudden you just make them the Minister of Sports. Tell me how the hell this person has any knowledge of sports, and you've been the Minister of Agriculture, this is what you do. Yeah, it sets us back so, and every government, almost every government do it. Yeah, I talked about this with President Kagame earlier. That's how he put Minister Mimosa, because she had expertise in sports. Yeah, so it's going the right direction here. These people now, you think it, you live it, you breathe it, you want it, right? This is how you think. If it's not something that, to be honest, if you come and tell me to go and do agriculture now, you think I'll put passion into it? I honestly won't. And if I didn't have anything to do and you made me Minister of Agriculture, I'll probably take the position. That's how they think about it here. The people take the position and they are not experts of it, and then they are sometimes not even smart or sensible enough to hire the people that are experts. Yeah. So if I became the Minister of Agriculture today, I'll just go and find 2 people that know agriculture to the last, and I'll tell them, tell me what to say and tell me where to go. Right? Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah, so honestly, and lastly, to stay consistent is work. Yeah, you gotta work. You gotta be committed. You have to be committed. I have a 2-month-old baby in Toronto, and my ass is running around Africa right now, and COVID everywhere. and I have to go back to them on Monday, right? Yeah, but there's an obligation, and I know I'm building it up for that 2-month-old, my 2-month-old boy, or my 5-year-old son, or my 7-year-old girl. I'm building it for them, you know, and they're going to be part of this. This is me, this is my journey. They're going to travel with me when they are old enough, right? And they're going to experience it. Yeah, and that's where the teaching comes and the passion. And with that is consistency. With family is consistency. It's not about fame and where you are or who you are and all that stuff. We need to be real, like with ourselves, honestly, you know, like, and I say it again, we have to show more passion in what we want to do. So thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Damilare Oyedele. I'm an African from Nigeria. So my question is about age cheats in African sports. So while growing up as a kid, I used to play football back home in Nigeria, and I would go for football screenings. And there's a particular day a scout came to my football club, then to choose some guys. And I was claimed to be 15 years old as at then. And this guy, you can see his mustache, claimed to be my age mate. And the guy was like, how is that possible? Okay. And more recently, I was reading earlier this week that a footballer from Guinea, or I can't recall a specific country, is going to be facing CAF disciplinary committee because he claims to have been born in 1990 and his mom died in 1985. Mm-hmm. So where's the correlation? Okay, and this thing affects the whole African sports system. Okay, people like Messi, Fabregas, Ozil, we can track their age and how they started their career. So how would you suggest we address this issue around age cheat in African football, in African sports? Because it's going to affect the products of the system and how that will be sustainable in the long run, sustain the African football sports ecospace. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's an incredible problem that we have on the continent. It's really data use and data science has become so important for us. The registry, all these things where you know that this is the place you registered and this is what you have shown and it can never be changed. Yeah? It's like when we were jumping around and saying NSARS, and a lot of people were coming out and saying, supporting and saying, well, so, and meanwhile, these are the same people that are eating money, and they're the same people that are doing the wrong things, and you're saying you're supporting the youth. You're not supporting the youth. We have to stop corruption. Yeah, we have to stop corruption in the continent, and we have to own up to it. We have to. You know what I tell youth when they come to Giants of Africa? I say, put your age, bring your birth certificate and put your age. Because as soon as if you want to come and get the shirt and the coaching and everything that we have to offer, every information you give me, I'm sending it to FIBA. and I'm sending it everywhere, you can never change it again. We all have to do that. Yeah? And it has to be your birth certificate and your age. Clear. Simple. We have to give opportunity in Africa through building infrastructure and jobs and all this, and you see that a kid doesn't need to go at 13 years old to go play in Yemen or in Lebanon, and then they play for 3 years, and then they go to Europe, and then they play, and then all of a sudden, they know that they are good enough to go to college, play college basketball, and then they go to college, play college basketball, but you've changed your age from 23 to 17. It doesn't work that way. And it will always come and haunt you. Yeah? At the age of 29, when you start playing like a 28, you start playing like a 40-year-old man. What's going to happen now? Yeah, it's not possible. It's not possible. Yeah, we have to start working, and it's you guys, right? I saw a couple of you say you're in computer science. That data is important for us. How we track all born people and youth and age is so important where people are born. It's important in this continent that we do that.
Great. We have time for one last question. So can we have a woman ask the last question?
Hello, my name is Ntwainop Edia, and I'm from Cameroon. I'll quickly ask, you said it, you think it, you live it, you breathe it, passion, right? And then you want it, that's ambition. My first question is...
One question only, please.
Pardon?
We only have time for one
question.
Okay,
one question, no problem. I think the commonality between you as a sports leader and Acha is the fact that you guys both have passion. And I want to ask, at what point did you feel that you were struggling to kill or differentiate between your passion and your ambition? Because it gets to that point where, as a leader, you want to get something and create a change, yes. But your passion certainly, changes because you find yourself in a competitive environment like the African Leadership University, and you want something beyond than just doing that change. And I know, as someone sitting where you are, you had gotten to that point and you had fought it. So what did you do? How did you survive it? And what advice would you give us to be able to cross over when we get there?
It's such an interesting question, because I'll tell you guys honestly, just from my experience, as I was growing in the game, I felt that I started off as a scout that people know to scout in Africa, right? And that's kind of like a stereotype almost, even though you love it, I want to know all the African players. But in my mind, I felt like I had to travel to Europe to know more of the European players. And so I did that. And yeah, there's the cost to it. Obviously, I told you guys of sleeping on everybody's couch and all the things that we have to sacrifice to do that. And then for me, rather than ambition of, I want to be a director of scouting for an NBA team instead of a director of international scouting, I set a goal. And I said, I have to know all the college basketball players that are NBA prospects. So when I go into a room and we talk about basketball, I don't want anybody to look at me and just say, okay, Masai, what about the African players? And then it jumped to, okay, Masai, what about the international players? I want to, anybody, at the point I wanted to get myself to be able to have a conversation in the room, knowing about every player in every region of the world. And then I started to educate myself about the business side of the game. And that's why I'm the president now, not a scout. It's because I had to educate myself where business decisions have to be made. I have to study how the game works on the business side. Then I started to figure that out a little bit. Then I had to study the cap of the game. I had to study the numbers of the game. Then I started having to educate myself on analytics. Because it's really important. So there were many steps that where I had to go to really, really get to now thinking of even close to an ambition. And as you go and gain more knowledge, you learn a little bit more, you start to climb, and people see it. Yeah, the leaders, real leaders see it. Yeah, real leaders know talent. Guarantee you. Yeah, guarantee you. And you'll be seen. I tell Africans and youth, be the best that you can be. Yeah. I wasn't a good basketball player. Nobody found me. It's simple. If I was as good as LeBron James, 100% they'll find me. Right? Yeah? These guys are good. Look at where they are. They're the best at what they do. Be the best. If you are the best, you'll be found. You'll be found. You do whatever you want to do. I swear to you, it works like that. Yeah, get yourself to that level. Yeah, so the ambitions for me were learning to do other things that give you the qualification, and not necessarily something on paper, but I had it as knowledge.
And if I can just add something onto that, one of the things that I really believe is that you should have ambition for something bigger than yourself. Because if you're working for something that is beyond you, that really brings change in society, then that will light a fire in you more than anything you could ever imagine, which will actually end up enabling your success bigger than what you ever imagined yourself. So work for something bigger than yourself. Work for a change you want to see in society, and be ambitious for that versus I'm going to be ambitious just for myself. Because the role of a leader is not to acquire power and to be famous and to be rich. It's to serve. So ask not what you can get out of leadership, but what can you give to others. If you're a leader, then it's about supporting others, enabling others to be successful, especially every single person who's in this room. There are so many others who did not have this opportunity. All of us are really fortunate. And one of the things that I say is that those of us who are fortunate to be alive, to be healthy, to be educated, the only way we can justify our privilege is by doing hard things. Doing hard things to solve problems for society. And Masai is an example of that. And we hope to see all of you will use this opportunity that you're getting, not to serve yourself, but to serve the continent. Because for every single person here, there are thousands of others who didn't have this opportunity. And it's up to all of us to transform the continent. So let's be ambitious for the continent of Africa and to transform the society, not for ourselves. Thank you, Masai.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And, really, Acha, any closing words from you?
No, I mean, I love that I was reflecting a lot on this passion versus ambition, right? Because I felt maybe people felt it was either or, but I think the message is an and, right? And so I liked your push around. I was thinking ambition without passion, I feel, is self-centered. I think that was your point, right? But passion with ambition is what's transformational, what's going to get us there. So I like the whole and around passion and ambition. But thanks, Masai, and always inspiring to be with him. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
You guys.
Enjoy the
Thank
rest
you
of the
so
day.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. A round of applause for our guests, everybody. Yes. We'd like to take a picture with the guests here. Students, please just step up onto the stairs so that we can see you. And the guests are going to line up here, and we'll take one picture, and then we'll close off. Thank you. I mean, still with social distancing, people. Don't just go close to each other like that. Okay. Yes. Happiness. Come on. One, two. Thank you. Yes. Everybody scream Africa. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Students, please take your seats. We're going to get our guests to leave, and then everybody will leave after, okay? Thank you, everybody. Social distancing, and let the guests start to head down.
Don't curse, yeah? Right. That's what you were telling me the other day. You did, and I had to. Get boxed up by the cameras and by security. That is. All right. Good? You do it? Yeah. Picture right here. Next to the court.
One without.
Without the mask.
Sorry guys, I'm just coming back. Right here. It's crazy. Yeah. Get one on here too.